why are you arguing with the club that have to sell seats to stadium they've not built? They were selling VIP seats to stadium that has not finished building. And then, now what are you acting like Lagos house agents? Are you for saying you want to win Champions League? Collective agreement and commission, father, but you want to win Champions League.
The Champions League race is eating up nicely. 8 teams have already gone on to the round of 16, while a further 8 are duking it out in the playoffs. But who among all of these can be considered the favourites? Well, welcome to Crossfire, brought to you by Live Scorbet. I am Anishilewo, Jimmy Anishilewo, and Tunde and Tosin are here with me to pick their favourites for winning the Champions League. So, Tunde, who are your favourites to win the Champions League this year?
Yeah, as far as the Champions League goes, I think there's a lot that goes into determining who favourites are. You have to look at pedigree, your history in the competition, your current form, your squad, your ability to perform under these lights. And I think that when you combine all of these things together, first of all, you look at current form. Liverpool are the clear favourites. They were the best team in the league phase. They were imperious. They blew through their opponents until the last day of the competition, of the league phase, when they made 9 changes and lost away to PSV. Another team like Inter Milan, by far the best defense in the competition, only considered 1 goal, a 98th minute winning goal in a 1-0 loss to Bayern Munich. That's the only goal they considered in 8 games. So those are the kind of teams that I would say are looking like favourites to do it this time around. But then again, you can't remove perennial favourite like Real Madrid. As I said, there's a lot that ties it all together. Real Madrid, in terms of current form, in terms of pedigree, they did start the competition well, but they grew into it, and it's just if they can get through Manchester City, there's no stopping Real Madrid. We all know what Real Madrid can do, especially in knockout round of Champions League. So yes, I think those are the favourites. But again, this is a new Champions League format. It's a new season. Why not a new winner? Who knows? Even if it's not a new winner, because new winner could be Arsenal, for example. Arsenal, I don't know why. I don't know why you find that funny. I don't know why you find that funny. Yeah, but the Arsenal have not won. The Arsenal have not won the Champions League yet. But I think that this is as good a season as any to do it. They also had the fantastic league phase run, and if they continue to get the luck of the draw, well, even beyond luck of the draw, how many teams in Europe can beat Arsenal right now? Like the way Arsenal are playing, we just saw what they did to Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, rip them apart. Like how many teams can? They are not up to 5 teams in Europe right now that can beat Arsenal, and it's extremely unlikely that they will face all of those 5 teams in the run to the Champions League. So that's where probabilities come into play. So there are lots of teams that can do it. I think you will notice that I did not mention one team, but I know who will mention it. That's my...
All right, thank you. So, Tosin, he has given us a stake. Who are your favourites to win the Champions League?
There are a lot of good teams in this year's Champions League, and most of the names you already mentioned. There's a case for Inter Milan, their defensive rating. You look at Liverpool, a very, very good team, top of the league in England. You mentioned very, very good. Even Arsenal. Arsenal is not a laughable, strong contenders in the Premier League. They've shown over the last 2 seasons, and they were solid also in the Champions League.
I can sense a bot coming.
The bot is coming.
Of course.
The ball is first of all.
The bot is coming because you have to open your eyes again, take off your glasses, and watch the games. If you watch the games, you know that the most outstanding team in this season's Champions League, the first group phase, is actually FC Barcelona. From every parameter you want to use to judge, like from an entertainment value, from style of play, from goal scoring, and everything. And people say in the comments that Tosin is a Barcelona fan. Yes, I am a Barcelona fan. Did I predict that Barcelona will win the Champions League last season? Did I predict that Barcelona will win the Champions League 2 seasons ago? When have I ever predicted that Barcelona will win the Champions League? The last time I predicted Barcelona will win the Champions League, since we last won it in 2015, was in 2019. And I was wrong, but I genuinely felt we actually had the team to win that Champions League. It's devastating, but from every metric leading up to the second leg at Anfield, I felt we had the metrics to win. That's my personal opinion. Sometimes you turn out wrong. Every once in a while. I'm not wrong on Nigeria and Super Eagles issue. So those of you that are thinking that Nigeria qualify for the go dream about it.
We are focusing on Champions
Don't dream
League.
about it. I'm just saying every once in a while you do your critical analysis and evaluation and you're wrong. But you can look at this team. They check all the boxes.
Okay.
From an offensive standpoint, you have Lamine Yamal, you have Rafinha, you have Robert Lewandowski. How many people can say they have two attackers in their team that are as good as those two? Who has been the best player in the Champions League this season? It's Rafinha. It's not a question. It is Rafinha. Just shut your mouth. You swallow the spit.
He didn't interrupt you. He could have, but he so why are you interrupting yourself?
Just shut up. The best player in the Champions League this season, has been Rafinha. From a goal scoring standpoint,
I don't defend you now. I don't defend you. Why?
I need to start flogging you before you come on this show. But you critically looking at it, delivering in big sports, conversion, provision, contribution. Like, what parameter are you using to say that Rafinha is not the best player in the Champions League? Given what we say, yeah, the only person that has scored more goals than him is Guirassy and Lewandowski. You look at the team and you see what Lamine Yamal, Robert. For me, I've always said, for you to win the Champions League, like you said, Inter Milan are worthy contenders. They considered just one goal, but they scored 11. Barcelona scored 28. The difference, some of us can't do maths on this show, that's 17 goal difference. You understand? That's 17 goals. That's what a team like Arsenal that you said. That's literally their own goal. So you need to look at it from the totality. And even if you look at the defensive structure this season, apart from the game against Benfica, where we considered 4 goals, and our first game against Monaco, at the last game whereby we had nothing to play for, we've been decent. You could make an argument that Paul Kubasi has been the best defender in Europe this season. At his age, at 17, knowing the responsibility he has to marshal that defense, you could make an argument from an individual perspective. Obviously, the collective, Inter Milan is the best defensive structure. You could make an argument that Kubasi is the best individual defender. Given the structure we have to play, you look at the high line we play. How many people can actually, at 17, coordinate that kind of system and execute it almost perfectly? So, I'm a Barcelona fan. I'm a Barcelona homer. I always want Barcelona to win. I've been waiting for our first Champions League since 2015. This is 10 years. But I didn't come on this show to say Barcelona was a favorite last season. I didn't come here to say 2 seasons ago that Barcelona was a favorite. This is the first time I'm saying Barcelona is a favorite, and I already just gave you my reasons.
All right. So, Tunde, all the spits that you've been swallowing.
Don't even stress yourself. Let me just don't ask me. When you are talking about yourself, you are counting yourself. I've never seen a one-man debate in my life. His conscience was trying his best to stop it. And his points aggression of it. But so I don't want to since 2015 that all of a sudden they are favorite because of Obi Kubana and who are the people that I was calling that he said the best defender in Europe. I'm not going to argue with you. But would you know how different life was in 2015?
That was a lifetime.
Tosin himself, what were you doing in 2015? That you are saying Barcelona, were you employed? First point never exists in 2015. In 2015, Two-Face was probably even a virgin. We don't know anything about what was happening right now. Look, let me tell you what happened in 2015. Let's keep it sporting. Since 2015, when Barcelona last won the Champions League, Real Madrid have won 5. Barcelona in their entire history as an organization, as a crime syndicate, have 5. Real Madrid in the last 10 years have equaled Barcelona's entire Champions League all. And you will sit down here and tell me that Barcelona are the favourite over the Real Madrid because you have Obi Kubasi and Lamine Yamal and is that Rafinha is the best player in the Champions League? Don't worry, you have all the best. Have best winger, have best defender, have best striker. Come and win the Champions League. When May comes, when it's May, June, Will Barcelona make it to the final? Will Barcelona make it to the semi-final? Since 2015, Barcelona have only made semi-final once. That was in 2019. What happened then? I will remind you, Messi choked on his Adam apple and gave away a 4-goal lead to Origi. That's the only thing of note Origi has done in his life. I don't know why. Chelsea have won Champions League more recently. Come on. Dortmund have beat the Champions League final more recently than Barcelona. And it's yes, sitting there, you not call Dortmund as one of the favorites. Dortmund is literally in the last final. Dortmund will get to a final before Barcelona. What are you talking about? You not call Aston as favorite. You not call even Chelsea that are not in the competition have a better chance of winning it than Barcelona. No, don't mind this one. This toast will diarrhea of the mouth. You don't say you when the Saturday was talking, you not say anything. These are the issues. I don't know whether you're afraid of him. That's why you know to say when it goes on those rants and he just saying everything but also saying nothing at the same time. But I know you was I was even sleeping. Just like somebody on chair I put on this chair. That's how it was sounding to me. So let me just let you know now. There's no chance of Barcelona winning Champions League this season or the season after that. Based on current form, they've clearly dropped. They were saying, you know when they won La Liga in October. They won everything in October, everything don't finish. Now they are third. This is not Barcelona. Why are you arguing with the club that have to sell seats to stadium they've not built? They were selling VIP seats to stadium that has not finished building. I'm just, well, now you're acting like Lagos house agents. You say you want to win Champions League. Collecting agreement and commission, father. But you want to win Champions League. Tosi, please, let me advise you. The same way you are switch basketball team now, I would say switch football team. That's way. You can have his life 10 years in that Champions. Let's even say Arsenal fans. They've no experience, so you cannot miss what you have not. But you cannot.
Arsenal fans still collect.
You cannot miss what you don't have. But people like this, people like Mario, why do I know what that was this? 2008. Was he even the same trophy? How is your last Champions League in 2008? Just float the club. What are you doing? Like, so remove all this. I've told you, Real Madrid, as if Real Madrid get past Man City, there's no stopping Real Madrid, and they will most likely beat City. Even City can go further than Barcelona is coming. City are not playing well. So I hope with these people of mine are able to convince Tosin that first of all, find a new club. Secondly, Nigeria will get better before Barcelona wins the Champions League. Neither of the two is going to happen, but.
So, Tosin, today I just made a point that he made several points actually. Number one, that Real Madrid are still favourites despite how they've dropped off and all that. What do you have to say to that?
You didn't make any. You've never that you are God. You never even made a point of the nonsense he said. Both of you are the same thing. What's the difference between both of you? Basically, Tunde said in his first part that I feel Arsenal is strong, even Arsenal. But Arsenal, in the second part, he said Barcelona have not won the Champions League since 2015. But can't you see the contradicting nature of it? Do you, every time I come here, I need to teach you. I need to embrace you. What? The simple thing is, I spend so much time and energy trying to condense everything to you for you to understand. You need to sharpen your mind, both of you. So basically, there are several ingredients you need to win a Champions League. You need a good team. There are lots of good teams. So how do you now narrow it down to the favorites? You need good defense, you need good attack, you need... Let's look at all the parameters you need to win the Champions League. Nobody has scored more goals than Barcelona in the first phase. They have a legit... The top scorer in the Champions League this season, who is the third top scorer in the Champions League of all time, behind Ronaldo and Messi. Somebody who has a legacy of scoring goals in big moments. He's on the team. They have one of the most creative players in the world in the right position in Lamine Yamal. Rafinha, like I said, there's nothing you want to tell me from a statistical, from a performance, from an eyeball perspective, has been the best player in the Champions League so far. You go to midfield. How many midfielders are better than Pedri? this season.
15.
I feel slapping. I feel slapping. How many midfielders are better than Pedri? Casado has been a revelation this season. And Frankie de Jong is rediscovering his form. And in defense, Balde, Tunde, and Pau Kubasi. For me, Pau Kubasi's execution of our defense, being a leader for that defensive line, has been fantastic. Then you also now look at the coaching element. How many teams actually have a coach that have won a Champions League? Because you are talking about Arteta. You said that's now. As Arteta won a Champions League, as Arne Slot won a Champions League, what are you talking about here? Do you not have common sense?
Well, Real Madrid have a coach that won a Champions League.
Out of all the... Do you know if Real Madrid will get to the next phase? Are you God? We have to...
And do you also know that Barcelona will get to the
next phase? They are already in the first phase.
Do you also know that Barcelona will get to the next phase?
What? Turn up!
God is talking. Assistant God, go ahead.
How many times have I told you, after God is me? I don't know. But that's a different discussion. You are talking about a team that can get knocked out in the playoffs. Do you know the probability of that? From the start, should we be a statistician? We are talking about teams that have already advanced to the next stage. You look at it totally, and what has Real Madrid actually shown? Real Madrid have the legacy, they have the players. That's a fact. But what has Real Madrid shown in this season's Champions League to tell you that they can actually do? Yes, they have the pedigree, but we are talking about teams that have shown what they can do. Hansi Flick has a reputation and has the legacy of winning a Champions League and delivering in spectacular fashion. Yes, it was even against my Barcelona team. Yes.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yes. So I'm telling you that, like, from all the ingredients, the last element, which is either here or there, is an element of luck and injuries. That's it. That's the only thing that I don't know that made the Real Barcelona Champions League. That's luck and injuries. Apart from that, you look at this team. This team is not built for the league. This Barcelona team is not built. Can we win the league? Of course, we can win the league. You need, when you have players like Lamine Yamal, who is 17, you have Casado 21, you have Pedri 22, you have Gavi 20. Like, the inconsistency, some of them have already won the league, but like the consistency and some of the injuries we've been battling. But in a knockout style tournament, if you score 3 goals, I can assure you will score 4 goals. That's how potent our attack is. That's how potent our attack is. Our defensive structure has been relatively good. I'm telling you that this season, Barcelona stands head and shoulders above every other team we've seen in the Champions League so far. And they can get the job done.
All right. Well, there you have it. Tunde has given us his take. He says that Liverpool have the form to go the distance, while Real Madrid still have the pedigree to make a comeback. While Tosin has said, no, Barcelona are his own clear favourites to win the Champions League. What about you guys? Who are your favourites? Let us know in the comments. I am Anishilowo, Jimmy Anishilowo, and this is Crossfire, brought to you by Live Score Bet.